It had everything really, didn't it? It had good, bad, good, bad, ugly, everything really. I thought, to be fair, in some ways I thought we dealt with some pretty simple giving up of points in the first half quite well. I mean, there's no doubt anyone would say they are simple points to give up, aren't they? A pretty simple move around the front of the line out and we miss a tackle, and they score pretty immediately, and then a ball plucked out of the air, in a one-on-one scenario, and we haven't really worked really hard to get back and potentially cover them coming up with the ball, and all of a sudden there's 2 tries there with virtually no territory and no possession, and the game's pretty even and we have to work very hard for 2 scores. So that was quite frustrating. Obviously, you can't ignore the fact that a guy catches the ball and steps off the pitch and it doesn't get picked up and it leads to a try as being a little bit frustrating. But I think we've got to kind of go beyond that and just say, what other things are in our control, and we've conceded some pretty soft points here today, and to be fair, we've given up the ball pretty softly on a few occasions. I mean, I think there was once it was pretty much a 14-point turnaround. We're driving at their line, we're in control of the ball, we drop the ball, and the next minute we're conceding a try at the other end, and those are big turnarounds that we've got to stop giving up. The good was to be able to come back with about 15 minutes, maybe less on the clock, to score 3 times, to draw the game, shows a fantastic amount of character. And I've actually said to the players that was probably the most characterful 10 minutes from us I've seen this season. That bodes very well. But I've also challenged them by saying if you can play like that for 10 minutes in a game, then we've got to expect you to play like for 60 or 70 minutes like that, because that's what we have got inside us, and that's what we have to make sure we start letting out. I can dress it up as much as I like. We're not quite letting ourselves absolutely fly at things and absolutely sparkle. We're working hard. Everything we do says we work hard. All the stats we're picking up, all our GPS data, all our heart rate stuff, everything says we're working hard. What we're not really doing is committing to things flat out and making each thing really work. We're probably just a little bit error-strewn at the moment.
Do you think the substitutions made a difference?
Yeah, substitutes were good. They added a bit of go forward for us, didn't they? The line-out became very secure with Damien Welsh in there. I thought Kai was very good. Won a couple of crucial penalties for us, got us on the front foot. Harry Williams did well when he came on. The pack of forwards that had to score at the end, really went for it, and they've come through big for us. I thought the substitutes were fantastic, and that's what I've kind of said to the players. I said I want to be able to select from a group of guys who are walking around with their heads up and their chests out and kind of saying, pick me. And not kind of wait till we get to halfway through the Clermont training week and we start to look like a team again. I want them to decide now how they're going to turn up in training. They've got a little bit of a break now. We're being on Tuesday, and I kind of want to see them turn up with a bit of character and a bit of spunk about them, and actually stand there and look like a rugby team that's going to go out and chuck themselves around a bit. I think that's a little bit what we're lacking. We're very good. We're very good at going through our game plans. We're very good at sticking to most things. We look at times a very good side. To come back like we did today, to take part in a draw like that, where both teams have got try bonus points and both teams go away 3 points. That's a pretty big game and a good performance by both sides. So things are okay. We lost by a point, but we lost by a point last week in a game where we could have won, and we lost by 5 points to Wasps. We've got to start deciding as a group we're going to knock those over.
You actually got more points than them because they only got 3 tries.
Did they? I thought they got
2 penalties.
Oh, sorry.
So you come out with more than them from a game you were never leading.
Well, there you go. There's always a positive, isn't there? I mean, fair enough. I mean, I thought they'd got their 4 tries, but I think, for me, as I said, we've shown a bit of character. We've come through. If the last conversion goes over, it would have probably been a huge result for us in a way, because we would have probably had to come through one late. We've lost a couple like that, and whether we'd have felt any better about ourselves, I don't know, because I still feel that we've just got to start standing up and standing strong. And like I say, that's not something the players don't think as well. I think they're ready to stand up and really make that big performance happen.
What's the position with Jack Nowell? He was in the team sheet today.
Yeah, Jack Nowell, rather disappointing really. I mean, he's got a pretty significant tear of his quad. He did it on the Monday training with England. He did it probably, to be fair, he was probably loaded in a way that we wouldn't have loaded him, especially with the fact that he'd only played his first bit of rugby back at the weekend against Northampton, and I suppose more disappointingly he was sent back to us with a report that they couldn't find any significant damage and that it was just a bit of loading and he was a bit sore, and obviously we brought him back. Unfortunately we scanned it and we found a pretty significant tear, like you're talking 9 or 10 centimetre tear in his quad. So he's got a significant injury there, and he's going to be out for a number of weeks.
Weeks or months?